So y'all, it seems that I'm just gonna learn like the first sentence.
The first sentence.
The first sentence.
Like the first part. It's a lot.
Okay.
I
thought I could do a Beyonce choreography with Dominique. It's actually harder than I think. So we're going to just do the first part. Okay.
You got it.
Abby, get into the money. Everybody first.
Think I'm getting too much money.
Everybody not
I hope I don't mess up. It's gonna be so ugly.
I'm fucking messed up. Hey guys, welcome to my channel and my podcast. It's your girl Oyetoro. I have sitting with me Miss Dom Dotson. Hey, she's my homegirl. I'm really glad to have her here today because we're going to be talking about some exciting stuff regarding, you know, improving your GPA and also competing on the multi-curriculars, which is the moot court, trial team, and journal competition. Yeah. And what it turns out is Miss Dominique and I are both on journals. Although it's not law review, we're in journals.
Shout out to my girl Jazz though for making that journal.
Hey, congrats Jazz. Repping for the black people. And also, we also have, we both tried out for moot court. Unfortunately, we didn't make it. So while we might not be the best people to give you advice on how to get a moot court, we could talk about it. And that's what we're gonna do. And I'm also trying out for the trial team competition, so I think that we can give some insight as to what goes on and what it looks like. So, but first, Dominique has an obsession with Beyonce. She is a stan. And I wanted her to just give you a backstory about where this love came from and what's going on, Dom? Why do you love Beyonce so much?
Okay, so the funny thing is like when I was younger, I hated her. I know, I feel like a lot of people don't know that. But when I was younger, I didn't really like listen to her music. And I like was one of those people that like, Beyonce's overrated, like when I was like younger. But when I was a freshman in college, I went to Liberty University. And it's one of the biggest Christian schools in the entire world. They literally have over like 100,000 students, both on campus and online. So basically, we weren't allowed to listen to like any music that was like rap. Like you couldn't pay like Drake or like Kendrick Lamar or like anything like that. And like that's like what I listened to. So like at practices, if it wasn't Taylor Swift, it was Beyonce. Oh. So I like didn't have like a choice to like listen to her or not. But the crazy thing is though is that my teammates loved her and I never understood why. But after they played her music so much, that was the first concert I went to actually. Like I literally fell in love with her and I went to the first On the Run tour. And then ever since then it was just a downward spiral of obsession with Beyonce.
I don't think you guys understand how much Dominique is like obsessed with Beyonce. She spent like $300 in 1 year. See, did you see her twice? At some point.
The first time I saw her, I got floor tickets. Literally the first time I saw her. And the second time I saw her, they were free. Because I had 1 ticket. The third time, I know, literally, the third time I saw her, I spent $200. It was for me and my mom. And the fourth time is going to be this, well, after this video is supposed to be, we're going August 29th.
Yes.
Me and Esther are going with her sister. And it's going to be my fourth time seeing her. It's going to be my first time seeing her.
And it's going to be my first time seeing her. Like, I've always been a fan of Beyonce, but I feel like when I met you, I was like, okay, you can have that crown.
Like,
She's the definition of a beehive.
Like, I just bought her September Vogue issue because it's like historical. Because of course, like, only a couple black women get to be on the cover. And also, in the first time, they gave Beyonce complete artistic creativity over it.
Right.
And they had a black photographer be the head photographer of it.
And matter of fact, he was 23, which is how old I am. So if that puts things into perspective.
Yeah, like, what am I doing with my life?
But like, right?
Yeah.
What am I doing with my life?
I have no idea, but you know, that is my homegirl, born September 4th, 1981.
Okay, girl.
Beyonce.
Okay.
Her best album is B-Day. I don't care what anyone says.
I think her best album is 4.
It's not 4.
And I made a painting of Beyonce's album 4, like, on my wall. So I think it's the best album.
It's good, but it's not that girl. B-Day is that girl. That's all I have to say. Her worst album.
Aside of talking about Beyonce, let's talk about you and your second semester. So a lot of people don't know what they're expecting going into law school, and it's kind of crazy because they don't really give you the secret. And sometimes they say it, but it doesn't make sense until you're in the exam room and the clock's ticking. And so, like, how was your first semester totally different from your second semester?
So my first semester, I feel like, one, I had no idea what I was doing. I would read and not understand what was going on, and I never, like, really asked anyone, hey, can someone make this make sense? So that was one. Also, I was hazed by the 2Ls. They told me I could start outlining by November, and that was a lie.
That's a lie.
That is a lie.
You have to start, like, right off the bat, because then it, like, picks up and you don't even have time.
I didn't even do a con law outline. Like, I'm telling you.
Oh yeah.
I finished my crim outline literally probably like 3 days before the test, and then like my torts outline was the only one I finished before finals. I didn't even do a crim outline. I made a con law outline. I literally, like, I just got it from someone else. I was like,
I don't think I need a con law outline either. I started and I was halfway through and I was like, I saw someone's outline. I think it was Bachi's. Hey,
yeah,
Bachi! Second shout out. But I think it was Bachi's outline, and it was so good. I'm like, why do I have to have an outline? But outlining does help.
It helps so much, honestly. I think that was the one big difference from first semester to second semester.
Right.
In second semester, I try to at least update my outline every like 1 to 2 weeks. Sometimes 3 if I get a slump. But I definitely did that a lot more. I also think going to office hours is helpful.
Very
I think I went to office hours maybe like 3 times for like all my classes my first semester, but I can like attest, like for my contracts class, I was like in my professor's office maybe like every other week because like I wanted to do well in contracts.
Right.
I didn't. But I feel like actually going in and speaking to your professor, because at the end of the day, like your professor is gonna like make or break you, because we only have one test, and if you don't do things the way they want it specifically, like even though like the curve may work in your favor in some classes, like if everybody else knows exactly what to do and can put like a good faith effort, even if you put a good faith effort and it's not what the professor wants, like you're gonna get a C. Like that's just how I feel.
You're not gonna do well. And like the thing is, I have Dominique here because she got on the dean's list second semester, so shout out to my girl Dominique.
Yeah, I was on academic probation first semester. No, I'm kidding. It wasn't that bad.
No,
it wasn't that bad.
But yeah, I think what I tell the incoming 1Ls all the time is like, right now, don't focus a lot about the reading. We went to a training yesterday and the speaker said that what is it that you spend most of your time on and what is going to be the most important thing at the end of the day. Most people spend most of their time reading, but the most important thing that they have to worry about is the exam at the end of the day. So like, yeah, reading for the class is important, but like you have to be able to write down and write and synthesize what you're reading, and not a lot of people do that. So it's very important. Like Dominique, you went to your professors with sample essays. Was it?
Yeah.
Were you just discussing, or did you like hand them sample essays and like, can you read this? Is this right?
So with contracts mainly, I would like my professor would give out like not weekly quizzes, but like quizzes
right,
for each chapter,
right,
and I'd go and discuss them with her. Crazy thing is though, like please do not follow this advice, but I did well in property. Like it's the best grade I've gotten since I've been here, and I did every single practice test.
Right.
But I did not go to the professor to see if I did it right. I literally just locked up. But I feel like I could have did even better if I would have taken them to my professor and she would have looked at them and seen like, okay, like you're on the right track, but this is what you can do to do better. So I think that's what I was really missing from my first semester too. It's like, yeah, I'm doing practice problems, but am I doing them right?
Right.
And like, you're gonna like, of course we learned like the way to write, like IRAC, BARAC,
FRAC,
whatever.
TRIRAC, LORAC,
crack.
Is
Like
my
literally anything, any way of form you can think of, they have a variation for it. And honestly, I feel like I didn't really soak that in until like my second semester.
Yes,
like
me too.
I really feel like I did not know what issue meant. Like I'm telling you, I didn't know what it meant.
Okay, so that is true because I was having a discussion with like the one else again. I was like, it doesn't make sense until the second semester. Like then you're like, clarity. Like you don't know that you're what the issue is, because I know that our comp professor confused me a little bit, but the issues really are the concepts. It's not like it's concepts tied to facts. So, and a lot of people don't really apply that, and then you have your rules, which is you just explaining what the law is, but then it doesn't make sense until you actually like down and dirty.
Yeah, because like the reading, like, and this is like the one thing I hate is that like we'll read something to give us the context, like, oh, this is the history of battery, and we don't even follow those rules anymore. Like the professor will go over like a whole lecture about this is how we used to do it, and be like, but wait, scratch all those notes you just took. This is how we do it now. I'm like, why couldn't y'all just tell me that?
Exactly. And then the most frustrating thing about school was that you would be talking about like a concept, and then 2 to 3 weeks later, your professor tells you, well, this is the exception to that concept. You're like, wait, why didn't you just show me? But they have to use a case to tell you that that's an exception to that concept. And sometimes it kind of seems like law school is very archaic when you teach that way, because then students are like, well, I'm confused. And then that's why a lot of the confusion comes from. But kids who do well know that up front, and they know that early on.
Yeah, I mean, second semester, I feel like I really just like actually like put my head down, went in my books. Like for the last like month of school, I mean, I was like in the library doing practice problems, doing them on my own at first to make sure like I understood. And then whenever I needed like the gaps to be filled in, like I would go and work with other people. I'm gonna shout out Jasmine again, because she definitely helped me with property.
That's good.
Because I didn't know what precatory or purgatory meant. I don't know.
Still don't know what
precatory. I think that's what it is.
Precatory means.
Wait, not whatever precatory.
What's that?
It's like the language where like you don't know where like the interest is gonna divest to, because it's uncertain if it's gonna be like vested or not. Like the next person it goes to.
See, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Was it on the exam?
It was on the exam.
Okay. Okay, but let's move on to trying out for these journals and trial team and moot court. These are called law curriculars. Co-curriculars.
Yeah.
And they're things that you do outside of your classes that are highly respected by people who interview and who are potentially going to hire you as summer associate. So Dominique, how was that process? Because I made a vlog of how hellish the journal competition was.
If I can keep it 100, I didn't want to do it. Like, I'm being dead
Yeah,
serious.
it's like you're done with your exams. Like the last thing you want to do is have to read for a blue book.
Like May 8th was our civil procedure exam, our last exam.
Right.
And I was like, your girl done, it's summertime, ay. And then I'm just like, oh wait, it's not summertime, because I made a promise to one of the former Bolsa presidents that I was gonna do it. I was gonna be committed to everything. And but then like when the blue book exam came out, like you could either take it that Saturday after finals ended or the next Saturday. I definitely skipped that first Saturday because I did.
Yeah,
I wasn't doing that.
I didn't do that either.
There was no way I was doing that.
I like wasn't gonna do that.
No,
I actually took that weekend off and I started studying on the Monday after. I was like, okay, I'm gonna start on Monday, and I did. And I read the blue book from the front to the cover. Yeah, some people didn't.
I didn't. I'm gonna keep it straight up. Like,
I actually did. Like, And I think I know most of the Blue Book rules since I've read that. But at some point I gave up. But I read it back to cover because Alicia said read it back to cover.
See, you want to know what the crazy thing is though? And I feel like it's like a joke. But I took my Blue Book exam the second weekend. And Esther's class for her, I think it was her legal writing class. You guys had to purchase like a thing for your class, right?
A book?
Not a book, the online program.
Yeah,
book exercise. I purchased that.
Oh, you did?
And I did every single one of those. And I spent $30. So, you know what, JLPP? I need $30.
You could have called me.
I could have asked someone.
Yes.
The funniest thing is I literally spent $30 on it. And I asked other people from her class. And they were like, you should have spent $30 on it. And I was like,
right.
Oops, I already spent $30 on it.
That's a good thing that you pointed out because Alicia recommended taking the LexisNexis test online. But then I went back and I thought about it. I was like, I have that Blue Book practice online portal, and I actually used it, but it was kind of too late when I realized it. So, like, going forward, if I would encourage someone studying for the Blue Book exam, don't worry about learning the Blue Book. Worry about taking those practice exams. But you have to kind of read to know what it is.
Yeah, like I'll tell you, like I read, I don't know how many sections there are.
There's like 18.
But I know that once I hit like 14, I said, home, I'm done. Like rule 14,
there was like,
I was
I think
done.
it's up to rule 20 or something.
It was, but I think it was once I got past the periodicals and like videotapes, I said I'm not reading this anymore.
Yeah, the periodicals, I'm like, I can figure it out. So like how it works is like when you read at least the first 5 pages, especially for the cases, when you have a grasp of what you're supposed to do, those practice problems just reinforce it.
Yeah.
Just go back and take all of them, because like even after reading the book, when I did the practice exams, I was still getting it wrong. So when I started taking the practice exam and I did it twice, I was like getting it right. So that's when I was like, man, I could have just done that in the first place.
Yeah.
So save yourself the stress. Read maybe 5 pages, then go get the Blue Book thing like Dom did, or go on LexisNexis and just take the exam.
Yeah, that's what I did. So I mean, I took a week off from my internship to do it, but I was still working. Like, so this year I did an internship and I still worked like retail on the weekends. So I was working, I literally was like, I work at Victoria's Secret, and like during my lunch breaks I was writing. So like I wrote my thing like during my breaks, and I literally handed it in. It was due at like 11:59 that night. I think I handed it in at like 11:20, but I forgot to put the honor code onto it, so I had to go back and remail it. I almost didn't make a journal. I almost didn't make one. Don't be me. Don't be me.
Yeah, and some people actually didn't make it to the deadline, and so like the prompt for it's a good thing that you brought up the journal. The prompt for the journal was very hard.
It was stupid.
It was very difficult, and I don't know how it was for you. For me, it was difficult because I've never written like a judge before. I've written an objective memo. I've written a persuasive memo, but I've never had to decide the fate of a case.
It was just like, I kind of felt like I was just like talking to myself, like if I was like in the court, like, no, I don't agree with this because X, Y, and Z. Right. But again, like maybe if I would have written it like better, I would be on law review. But the thing is like I'm grateful that like I am on a journal, and it's like the journal I wanted to be on.
What journal are you on?
I am on the Journal of Law and Public Policy. So it's like actually like just like it's kind of like encompasses a lot of things. Like public policy can range from like literally anything from like civil rights to con law to like real estate to like marijuana use to like employment. Like it literally is like
covers a lot.
Like it covers so much. So. Right. We literally have like a lot of range to write on. Right. So I mean,
and so like even I'm on the journal for technology and law and policy. I don't know when you found out, where were you? When I found out, I was at a friend's place and I couldn't look at the number. Right. So I looked on law review and I saw like my number, which was like something, and then. But the last number wasn't my number. It was like some random person's number. And I was like, oh, I didn't make law review. But I was like, I hope I make it to the Journal of Technology and Policy, because that was my second option. And I looked down. I was like, oh my God, my name's on it. And I'm on the floor crying.
I think the first thing I did, because the crazy thing is, so we're probably talking about it next. Like I was writing my moot court prompt in the middle of finding out that I made JLPP. So I literally, I'm about to stop writing that moot court thing too, sure. But
yeah, that's the thing too. When you get on, you might would not want to continue with moot court. If you had gotten a law review, you would not have continued.
If I got a law review, I would never do anything else. I wouldn't even go to class. Right. I'd be like, I'm on law review.
So I don't think it applies to all schools. Like our school, you first take the law review competition or the journal competition, then you try out for moot court, and then
trial team.
A trial team happens at the beginning of the semester.
And then ADR.
Oh yeah, ADR.
Yeah.
And it's like you said, I actually didn't even start my moot court prompt at that point.
Was already, I had already finished the cases. I literally had written, the statement of the facts, the table of contents, everything.
Wow.
And I found out I was on JLPP. And I was at home, and I was with my parents. I was like, yes, I made it. I was excited.
Yeah.
And I literally texted everyone. I'm like, did you make it? Did you make it? I was like, Jasmine, are you on law review? I literally was asking everyone if they made it, and then I found out a bunch of my friends had made it.
Right.
They we're out here representing for the black folk.
And on the Journal of Technology and Law and Policy, we have 3 black people, women, and then we have one black male there. But it's really interesting that we have that diversity.
I think on each journal there's at least one black person.
Yeah.
And really I don't know if we could have said that for last year. I don't know.
Not for law review though.
Alicia was on it. Oh well, no one added on.
Yes.
Oh, okay, got you.
So she was on it, but she was from the previous year. All right, so what about moot court? We both practiced together.
That was a horrible experience.
It
was bad, and the reason why it was bad was because they gave us 26 cases, and it was open universe, which meant that you can go and do outside research. So I read 26 cases. Mind you, I'm still working 7 days a week. 7 days a week. So I was reading in between, court appearances, on my break, everything, when I got home.
She's a dedicated girl.
And and I had to do one case, and I hate this case. Don't ever read Planned Parenthood of Willamette versus AC or ALCU, because that was 63 pages I will never get back in my life. I read all 63 pages.
Girl, you are tripping.
I read all 63 pages, and let's just say I read over probably 600 pages. I wrote a brief that was about 31 pages. Practice with Esther, and I didn't make it. It was a lot of work. But I have a writing sample now.
That is good. That's
good.
Actually pretty good. I on the other hand, once I got into trial team, I didn't think about doing moot court, but I ran into a current 3L, and who was like, maybe you should just try. You never know what happens. So I'm in Atlanta interviewing in Atlanta, and I'm thinking about writing this, and I draft the entire case in one day. I've never written that much in my whole life.
Honestly, that's so superhuman, because it took me 2 weeks to write mine, but I literally was writing mine in increments, but she did all of it.
Well, I mean, the thing is, I did all the research prior, but I was still researching, and so so I had an idea of what arguments I wanted to make, and I just had to have the cases to make it sound smart. And so when I was driving with my mom and my dad and my sisters from Jacksonville, I'm typing, but I didn't really get the chance to make my paper a really, really great paper. I didn't do my blue book or whatever. I'm not ashamed to say this because the deed has been done, and part of the reasons why I didn't do so well in moot court and I didn't really put all my eggs in that basket was because I was taking a class over the summer, and that class was so hard. It was it wasn't so hard. It was just exhausting, okay? It was exhausting. It wasn't hard. Yeah. But and then we had the finals, and people were taking the finals at the last minute.
Yeah, so. I didn't take a summer class.
Yeah, don't do that. If your competitions are taking
as a 1L, I wouldn't suggest taking a summer class.
It's
it's a lot of work, because you have your internship, and if you're doing an externship too, you have externship work, then class work, and then right on, and then moot court. You're not gonna have a summer.
No, you're not.
It's a lot.
We didn't have a summer.
I didn't even take a class, and I was like, I have no summer.
Okay, what about trial team now?
I'm not doing
trial
that.
Team. I mean, she's not doing that, but I can give you guys an overview about trial team. It's basically like mock trial if you're familiar with mock trial. but you're only assigned a closing. So you have 3 stages where they make cutoffs. The first stage is just you giving a closing argument. Then if you make it, you move on to the second stage where you give a closing argument and do a cross-examination. And then if you are one of the people at the end of the third stage, you have to give a full set trial. I don't know if I'm gonna make it, but I'm just like at this point, top of my head, at this point I just want to try, because if we don't make it, guess what me and Dominique are doing together?
I don't know, what are we doing together?
Balsa moot court.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, girl, I'm finished. I don't know what she was talking about.
I said, Dominique, why don't you try? She's like, nah.
No, you want to know why? Because
I'm
UF took too much of my time. They shut off years of my life with all this reading they made me do.
Yes.
It was a lot. It was a lot of reading. Like, maybe if trial team was first, then maybe I would have did moot court. Yeah. But there was no way I was doing trial team. Yeah. Especially after, like, it's so, like, that's a lot of things that I feel like happen. Like, I feel like that's different from, like, first semester, second semester, and now, like, the heartbreak of all the rejections you may get. Like, after I was rejected from moot court, I said, this school's not getting any more of my time and energy. I'm sick of them telling me no. But I don't know, maybe in hindsight I may regret trial team. I probably won't.
And the thing about moot court that I think is great, and I think anyone should, if you have the opportunity to try out for moot court, is you get both writing and speaking experience, and that's like combined in one. Journals are just like writing. You don't even write, you edit.
Yeah, and no, really, unless you're writing a note.
Unless you're writing a note, and 3 L's are required to write a note. Trial team is more about your presentation styles, but let's move on to the segment that I'm yet to name, which is our legal trivia.
Trivia, oh yes. Girl, don't.
And Dominique is going to be picking a question from this golden box. So it's a golden question box, and she's going to be responding to it. So you pick it up, give it to me.
I'll give it to you.
Yes.
Okay.
Da, da, da.
Oh my god, I'm nervous.
Oh, what are the elements of negligence?
Girl! Stein, duty breach causation damages! Miss Stein. Stein would be so proud.
She would be. Name all the cases that pertain to it. I'm sorry. Miss Stein, I was just joking.
That guy where he fell down the well, he got dropped down.
She does too much. And then she thinks she's not smart.
USB Lautner.
She does too much. Okay. You do too much.
Wait, let me one question.
Do you have any advice for current law students who are thinking about trying out for co-curricular activities? What would you tell them?
Do it. Do it, one, just because, like, someone like me, while my GPA did increase, like, I still don't have, like, a great one. So I feel like doing the co-curriculars, if I, like, had, like, certain things saying, like, my grades may not reflect it, but, like, obviously, like, I still can write. And, like, say I made, like, moot court, like, I can still write and speak. And also, like, doing clinics, like, I think that's a huge thing. Really, it just depends on, like, what type of law you want to get into. Like, if you want to do big law, like, you need to do the write-on. Like, you need to do moot court. Because literally every single, like OCI, like, on-campus interview job is, like, law review, moot court, like, top this, top that. Like, you need to do those things. But me, like, I want to do public interest law. Like, I'm really interested in family law. It's really the practical experience, but also that writing experience will help, because we're not just litigators, we also still write as well.
Right.
So I would tell anyone, like, I know a lot of people say, like, oh, like, don't just do things for your resume. I don't care what anyone says, I'll do anything for my resume. Like, I'll put anything on my resume. If I can put it on my resume, like, I'll put it on my resume. Like, so, like, I just, like, have, like, my activities. Like, I would say, like, I'm pretty involved in school. I'm part of also, like, Esther, like, Family Law Society. I'm now on JLPP. So I think just having that one co-curricular, even if it's one, I think it can really at least set you apart, because honestly, everybody in law school is smart. Like, no one's stupid. Right. Like, it's just how better we can market ourselves to other people in order for us to get that job that we want. And I think that doing the co-curriculars is, like, really, like, might be what sets you apart.
Well, thank you, Dominique. And do you have anything that?
But if you don't make a co-curricular, you don't suck. You're still a beautiful, great, smart person. Get that clinic experience, okay? Get that in-person experience, and people are still gonna love you.
I mean, just to add on, I think Dominique has given you guys like a load of gems. Like, there are so many ways to highlight who you are as a person. I didn't make it on moot court. I made it on a journal. Does that mean I'm not a great speaker, I'm not a great writer? No, it doesn't reflect on who you are and where you're going. And I have friends who would not do any of those things. So I think that you can leverage your skills by joining a clinic, like she said, which I'm on a clinic right now. And
mediation?
No, I mean, I'm currently doing a tax clinic right now.
Okay.
And so you see how that you can leverage your skills and advocating for people outside of being on a co-curricular. So Dominique, I appreciate you for being here. You are definitely welcome. I know we have to talk about more stuff because we always run out of time.
We got the tea for y'all next time. Oh, hey.
But you guys, thank you for tuning in. This is Legally Woke with Oyetoro, and I'll see you guys in our next episode.